It was Van's first solo trip to Daegu from Seoul in last 10 years. She didn't need to go to her grandpa's place alone as the old man was quite attentive to this matter. But he was currently hospitalized. His condition was so serious that the family doctor personally informed her about everything and told her to come. No, she wasn't the only grandchild of the old man, but the only grandchild he brought up. At one point, she took off the overhead headphones and looked at the outside through the glass window. She didn't feel like listening to the songs right now. She was reminded of a few fragments of childhood memories. She remembered. Once she was fallen asleep while playing in her grandpa's farmhouse in the countryside. She still remembered the sound of someone playing or practicing the piano somewhere nearby. Beside Van's grandpa's farmhouse, there was another farmhouse, which belonged to the Min family. The heir of Min family used to love playing piano, and he was practicing his favorite song. Grandpa, I want to stay with you, Van said. You are always welcome, but why, cutie? Won't it be hard to live without your parents? Grandpa chuckled. Oma, Appa, they are busy with their daily office work. I feel like a prisoner in that factory life. I want to live here, in this farmhouse, Van said. But I don't live here. I only come here in the weekends. The old man curved his lips. Your grandma loved this place. She also wanted to live here. I guess she passed her genes onto you. Then why didn't you and grandpa live here? Van asked. Because grandma chose to be a homemaker and I was a businessman. I had to travel a lot and didn't take the risk to leave your grandma here alone. The old man replied. Grandpa, let me live here, please. You have so many houses. You don't even live here. Give me this one, she said without even realizing what she had asked for. But the experienced old man nodded. You have to take care of this place then. Grandpa, I will do anything and everything. Let me live here, one pleaded. Give me some time. I will get the paperwork done. Until then, we will be here on the weekends, the old man assured the little girl, who had no idea about getting or maintaining a property. Back to present. One chuckled. How silly I was. She put on the overhead headphones and started listening to the music, and closed her eyes. Van was neither a very good student nor a bad one. She still remembered. She was in 8th standard when the PT teacher told everyone to gather in the ground. The purpose was to select students to form the school band team for parade. Fortunately or unfortunately, one wasn't feeling good. But her prayer was rejected as the teacher thought one had come up with an excuse to avoid the whole thing. Throughout the whole selection process, one was so focused on hearing her name as the teacher's faculty was analyzing every student's performance and pronouncing the names of the students who were being eliminated. That day, they had to practice several times before the final team was formed. However, she didn't hear her name being called until the final team was formed. So, she had to stand in the line. Dismissed. One heard the word when it was around 5 o'clock in the evening. The students went in their respective ways, feeling a sharp stabbing pain in her abdomen when sat down on a bench. Closing her eyes, she gasped. Van, here is your bag. One of her classmates almost threw the bag on the bench. I need to go. Bye. The classmate left. She felt weak, so she decided to sit there for a while. Meanwhile, a soft melody was being heard, probably from the music room, and the melody sounded very soothing to her ears. And suddenly, it stopped. One sighed as she guessed the student also needed to go home. Tightening the strips of her backpack, she stood up and started walking through the long corridor. Stop, hearing a manly voice when stopped. Are you alright? A senior asked her. One didn't utter a single word, just nodded. The senior took off his coat and wrapped around her waist. Take care. He gently patted on her head and left as he was in a hurry. Am I looking sick? No, I must be looking tired. That's why. But why did he give me his uniform? One murmured while going home. That day, the 13-year-old girl had her first period. Even though she was aware of the whole thing, when it happened to her, at first she didn't understand. She just felt sick. One sighed as she finally reached her grandpa's place. She chose to go there as the house was close to the school. She pushed the door open and entered into the house, and flinched, seeing the familiar senior in his grandpa's place. What are you doing here? She asked first. So, you are the favorite granddaughter of Grandpa Kim? The senior asked. I don't know, and definitely can't assure you that, Vance stated. You are in 7th standard? The senior asked and gave her a bar of chocolate. 8th, she literally glared. Obviously, she hesitated to take the chocolate first. You know how to play piano? I mean, you were the one who was playing piano in the school? When asked him with bright eyes. Go and wash up. Let me practice a few times, then I will play my new composition for you. Young started playing the piano, mainly to distract his teenage brain from thinking through what situation she was going. When unwrapped the overcoat from her waist as soon as she entered into the room and noticed big patches of blood on her skirt. Oh. She sighed and opened her cupboard where she kept a few period pants her mom had given her. She carefully read the instructions on the back and went to the washroom. She was feeling weak. The thought of bathing made her want to cry, but she couldn't stay in that situation any longer. Even though it wasn't a particularly intense pain, it was extremely annoying. She threw herself under the warm water of the shower and stayed there for a few minutes. After a long day of hard work, she was feeling very hungry. Although she didn't like chocolate that much, she wanted to eat it at that moment. After cleaning herself as thoroughly as possible, wrapping a towel around her body, she stepped out of the room. Carefully put on one of the pants, decided to protect that disposable thing with another layer of undergarment, and then put on her pajamas as her current plan was to fall asleep. She was all set to go to bed when someone knocked on her door. She thought it was her grandpa, so she said, not fearing that her pain would be expressed in her voice. I never close the door. And her jaw almost dropped to the floor as Yoongi peeked. May I come in? She nodded. I'm here to invite you to our farmhouse. My grandpa and your grandpa, Our grandpas are going to take some decisions. Yungi invited her from outside the room. I will go later. Wen replied in a tired voice.